She was the small-town mayor who became a national sensation. A political firebrand, a hockey mom with charisma, and a media magnet. But behind the carefully crafted smile, behind the signature glasses and Alaskan grit, was something far more chilling. A secret buried deep beneath the snow, behind years of campaign speeches and patriotic slogans. A crime that would not only shake Alaska, but threaten to unravel everything Sarah Palin built. This is not the Sarah Palin you thought you knew. This is her darkest secret. To understand the weight of what was hidden, we have to go back to Wasilla, Alaska. A remote town with fewer than 8,000 residents. This is where Sarah Louise Heath Palin first stepped onto the public stage. What started as a humble PTA mom transformed into political ambition. She became a city councilwoman, then mayor of Wasilla. By 2006, she had skyrocketed into statewide prominence, becoming the youngest governor in Alaskan history, and the first woman to hold that office. The press branded her as tough, direct, and different. A symbol of raw, outsider energy. But in 2008, everything changed. Palin was catapulted into the global spotlight as John McCain's running mate in the presidential election. Her folksy charm and controversial remarks made her a political lightning rod. Phrases like, "drill, baby, drill," turned her into a cultural icon almost overnight. But while the country laughed, argued, and debated, few noticed the quiet disturbance brewing back in Alaska. One that involved a missing woman. One that refused to stay buried. October 2008. Just weeks before the election, in the quiet fishing town of Kodiak, Alaska, a local journalist named Bethany Carlson disappeared. Carlson wasn't famous. She didn't work for any major outlet. She was an independent reporter who'd built a reputation on exposing corruption in small-town government. She was fearless, determined, and reportedly working on a story she claimed would blow the lid off the hypocrisy of Alaska's political elite. Friends say she never mentioned names directly, but her notebooks, recovered later from a trash bin outside Anchorage, contained a single name repeated over and over: Sarah Palin. Her car was found abandoned in a grocery store parking lot. Her laptop destroyed. Her cell phone gone. Police chalked it up to a possible runaway or tragic accident. But those who knew Bethany said she was cautious, methodical, and never would have left a story half-written. Suspicion deepened when recovered documents from her shredded journal pointed to a suspicious oil lease signed by the Palin administration, rushed through just before the 2008 campaign ramped up. A lease that environmental advocates claimed would violate federal law. Bethany had allegedly reached out to multiple sources in the days before her disappearance, saying she was onto something big. In one chilling email she wrote, "I'm being followed. I'm not safe anymore." That email was never received. It was deleted from her editor's server and only recovered years later during a server migration. When it was finally opened, its timestamp placed it just 48 hours before she vanished. Someone, it seemed, didn't want her to be heard. Things took an even darker turn in 2012. Todd Palin, Sarah's husband, was reportedly questioned as part of an FBI probe into private security contractors operating in Alaska. The investigation focused on intimidation tactics allegedly used against journalists and whistleblowers. Deep inside the leaked documents from that probe was a cryptic redacted line that read, "Subject connected to operative known to have tailed BC." Analysts believed BC referred to Bethany Carlson. Though no direct charges were ever brought, the timing was eerie. Could Sarah Palin's husband have known about surveillance tactics used against a journalist investigating his wife? Were these private contractors acting independently, or at the direction of someone with influence? By this point, the whispers around Carlson's disappearance had begun turning into quiet outrage. Activists, bloggers, and internet sleuths were starting to ask real questions. Why was the investigation dropped so quickly? Why were Palin's political connections never scrutinized? And why did every document trail seem to end in redactions or dead ends? Then came the chaos within the Palin household itself. In 2017, Sarah's son, Track Palin, was arrested for assaulting his own father in a shocking domestic violence incident. But in his rant to police, a chilling phrase was captured on body cam footage: "He protected her lies." When asked to clarify, Track reportedly accused Todd Palin of knowing what she did back then, referencing an unknown past event. The statement was dismissed by authorities as an emotional outburst from a troubled man. But internet investigators began connecting the dots. What if Track Palin's outburst wasn't just rage, but revelation? Could he have known about the Carlson case? Was his violence a symptom of long-buried family secrets finally boiling over? In 2020, a new piece of the puzzle surfaced. A hacker using the alias Northwatcher uploaded a batch of encrypted government files to the dark web. Within that trove were what appeared to be internal emails from Palin's gubernatorial staff. Thousands of pages, most of it procedural nonsense. But buried inside that mountain of data was one email, dated October 9, 2008, just 2 days before Bethany Carlson vanished. The subject line read, "Neutralize the threat." The recipient was redacted. The sender? A deputy communications officer in Palin's office. The body of the message was only a single line. "We'll handle the situation locally. No further escalation needed." Many dismissed the document as a fake. But digital forensics confirmed its metadata matched state email servers used in 2008. No conclusive link was made. Yet the coincidence was undeniable. Could that threat have been Bethany Carlson? If so, what did they mean by handle? It's worth remembering, no body was ever found. No arrest was ever made. The case remains open. Sarah Palin has never been officially connected to Bethany Carlson's disappearance. But the circumstantial evidence continues to mount. An ambitious journalist working on a politically explosive story disappears without a trace. Cryptic emails. A family unraveling in public. And a trail of documents, redactions, and silence stretching nearly 2 decades. Palin herself would eventually walk away from national politics, citing the toll on her family. But critics argue it was something else. Pressure from too many cracks in the story, too many questions being asked, and too much heat from investigators circling closer. We reached out to representatives of Sarah Palin for comment. No statement was issued. The silence remains. Alaska is a land of untamed beauty and unspeakable cold. It is a place where secrets can hide beneath ice, and voices can disappear into snowstorms. But every now and then something shakes loose. A document, a witness, a confession. And when that happens, the truth has a way of resurfacing. Was Bethany Carlson silenced because she knew too much? Was a rising political star willing to cross the line to protect her ambition? Or was it all just a tragic coincidence lost in the vast Alaskan wilderness? We may never know the full truth. But one thing is certain, this story is far from over. If you found this investigation chilling, eye-opening, or important, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll keep digging because sometimes the most dangerous stories are the ones they don't want you to tell.